लगे। तो उसका एक कारण मुख्य था कि भारत में वो जातिवाद है, शोषण है, उत्पीड़न है, भेदभाव है, असमानता है। और हिंदू धर्म भी जो लोग थे, जो बुद्ध धर्म में आए, एक बदले की भावना भी हिंदू धर्म के प्रति हुई और आध्यात्मिकता और बाकी चीजें जो बुद्ध में बाद बाद में आती है। क्या यूरोपियन कंट्रीज में और अमेरिकन कंट्रीज में ऐसी बात है? क्या कारण है कि लोग ऐसी वहां स्थिति न होके भी बुद्ध की ओर आ रहे हैं?
So, Dr. Baba Ambedkar converted to Buddhism in 1956. After then, some other communities also started to become a Buddhist. There were various reasons, and one of the reasons uh, they were treated badly. So there were revenge also, and that's why people become Buddhist. So that is the sort of the treatment they were getting, and the spirituality was the another reason. But in the West, in Europe, in America, why people are attracting towards it? What is the reason?
They are likewise suffering. They are living under the antiquated empires of religions that have caused serious trouble in the world. We just went through a reckoning with the Catholic Church in Canada, where the Catholic Church wanted to Christianize the native population. So they literally took the children from them and put them in schools. And a century later, we find that there are hundreds of graves of children at these schools, which is a shame. And the injury to the native people is unmitigatable. It is beyond mitigation. But the Pope personally went to apologize. So there are these kinds of atrocities. As I said, I went to Buddhism because Christianity enslaved my family. And Baba Sahib woke me up. He said, as long as you have that in your idea, in your mind, you're still a slave. See? So the reason people are coming is because they're waking up to some historic problematics. And they're looking for change. And they want peace. And they don't want peace in a doctrine. They want a living rule book, rules to live by in this life in order to have peace, at least in their family, nowhere else. And that I find is true in America and it's true in Europe as well. And Mexico also is a Catholic country. Brazil is a Catholic country, see? So there are unspoken problems in the subculture of people who are awakening that are causing people to look for different kinds of ideas. And I will say this is important. I produced a film of my pilgrimage to Cambodia. And I premiered it at a college, Oprah Winfrey's alma mater, at an international film festival. And I was told that your film will never win a prize here because you're in the Bible Belt of America. This is the place where the Christians have a stronghold in Nashville, Tennessee. And that was true. And I didn't win anything. I did finally win something in the Honolulu International Film Festival. However, there was an elder from Fisk University, which is a historic black university, who came into the situation. And before the awards were given, because she knew the situation, she said this to this group of African American filmmakers and audience. America is not the world. Japan is not the world. She didn't say that, I'm saying that. India is not the world. When I say global activity, I mean the world. I don't mean this place or that place. I mean, how do we traverse the world in an activity that highlights Baba Sahib? Every country. We need a team that can go to a country that's not Buddhist, a team that can go to the long Buddhist tradition, a team that can go to the hot spots and get exposure for their work and what the value of a human being from the villages or from the slums is. This is what I'm talking about. The world, how to introduce ourselves in every place. I would like to see monks in the Antarctic. Why not? I have students in the Arctic. I do. And they herd reindeer. That's how broad my practice. I grew up with reindeer, and there are no reindeer in America like this. So that's my concept. It is not an offense to anyone. I was felt relieved when this woman came out and said America is not the world. At least they knew that she was holding the audience uh, uh, to their bias because of their small mind about what America is. So that is what I'm talking about, and that is not. I mean, I think we should deeply excavate what is the possibility of supporting Japan, and I don't think I know of a better person to do that than this gentleman here. But there are other countries, many. When I landed in Estonia, which is next to Russia, there was a military operation, and I got to see the military jets of Russia. They don't look like our planes. It was a mind-changing experience. I mean, I realized, wait a minute, hold it, this is Russia. And so we have to have an opportunity, provide an opportunity for Ambedkari to have that kind of experience. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know that, and I can end with this. The corporations understood the Ambedkar's people from the point of view of their problem-solving skills based on the amount of suffering that they've had to endure. So they set up a school and they set up reservations so that they could train people in technology and train people to work at the executive level of the major corporations in the world. Why? Because they can solve problems. Their problem-solving skills are phenomenal. That's why they're executives. And they handle the big questions. When you see things, projects of this many $1 billion, there's a Baba Sahib Buddhist practitioner involved. So I'm saying that same identification of those same problem-solving skills can be applied to programs with regards to sending people into the world. So the corporate identification of this was tactical and effectual, but it is not being used to support the Ambedkari community in general with regards to its contribution to the world.
So we have to sum up this discussion.
Any specific question? The question is Western countries, Western world, here in India. So, this is the first impact. Each regret,
I was raised to believe that I would have to work 3 times as hard as any white person if I were to go to get the same movement forward. And I have worked very hard. It's not easy, but there's a way. It's not imaginable where I come from that I would evolve into this, but I did it. So America is obstructed by race, but it's not fatal. And there is still room for accomplishing great things. Every race imaginable has come to America, even though racism exists. And it's that potential, that field, that ground, that with the right understandings can be navigated more easily now than it was when I was. And to the extent that that can be a model of how the pressures of caste are not finite. I mean, they're not the end of anything. We can work together to build identities that can work in the situations we find ourselves. because we have the smartest people in the world. Period. People would be destroyed completely. Not at the top of corporations. Not doing the thing. I played football with the American football in high school. The center, the guy who hikes the ball in American football's son, was on the International Space Station, an astronaut from my school. Another, the defensive end is 3 times in the Martial Arts Hall of Fame. All black. Because we were taught, you know who taught us? The veterans who came back from the World War II, who had seen bloody war. They were all killers. Did you know at the end of the Second World War, 6 million killers came back to America? And guns were everywhere. But we didn't see the violence that we do today. But those men were my teachers. I was taught geometry from a World War II airplane pilot, like this. So there is an America where where people are concerned about America's relevance in the future, right? And so these dynamics are not definitive in terms of a strategy, but they are points of potential that exist that make it more easy today to accomplish great things than it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And we have to find out and exploit those things. So we understand the realities. I'm a product of it. You're a product of it. But I see dignified human beings. I see intellectuals. I see professionals. That's what I see. And this is our ability manifest face to face. Does that answer your question?